Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Saber. For those of you who don't know me yet, tuning into you from the beautiful Austin, Texas right now. I actually live full time in Paris. I am an American expat and I help women around the world get paid to be them and monetize their social media. Ultimately, getting paid to exist with high ticket affiliate marketing. And I'm bringing on some women that I am mentoring right now. And we wanted to have a powerful discussion about something that's going on right now for the month of June, because we're halfway through the year of the fire horse. And everyone at the beginning of the year, whether it's year of the fire horse or snake or whatever it is like, this is my year. But the question is, do you actually have a model that allows you to actually hold the potential that you actually have? Do you actually have a way of making money where it's uncapped and it really takes the reins of your financial situation, where no matter what's going on in the world, you know that you have the security that you have to set yourself or your family free and allow you to do what you want to do? Because being back in the States for the first time in almost 3 years, I'm really seeing the contraction around what's happening in the economy. And I don't want to share this in terms of like bringing up fear, but I'm just like, wow, making money online is not even an option anymore. So I feel really, really passionate to bring on more women who are coming into this space and getting their whole paradigms open. So you can really see from the different walks of life and our different perspectives to really show you that no matter where you're at, no matter where your level of skill set is at, no matter what background you have or don't have, there is huge opportunity for you, especially in the month of June, because we have an incredible promotion that's happening for people who are getting started this month. Normally, your first sale can be up to $3,000, which is usually obviously amazing. But right now, for the month of June, that number has gone up $1,000 to $2,000 and even $25,000 in your first 5 sales. So we have a webinar that really breaks down how the business model works. Today, I'm going to bring on these women for you to just hear from their different stories and perspectives of really why they started and where they're at, and how we can really support women to step into that next chapter with whatever their dreams and desires are headed. All right, my dears. So I'm going to bring them on. This is the second time I've done. I can do it. Kelsey Red. So it says that I can't bring you on. Hello, Shalon.
Hello, lovely.
Give me 1 second. Kelsey, I think you have to request to join the live video. Anyway, it won't let me bring you on, but request to join and then I'll see it. Oh, there we go. Voila. And then we have one more. Yay! Okay, and then I just saw Shauna's pop up too. So we should be 4 in 3, 2. Okay, awesome. Yay! Hi, ladies. All right, so we got some juicy questions today. We're just gonna go, how you say, popcorn, whatever it is. We'll go down this way. I don't know if you ladies can see the same order I am. Shalon's on this side, Shauna's on this side, and Kelsey's on this side.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We'll go this way, 2 minutes each. The first question I have for you ladies is, we're halfway through the year of the fire horse. Back in January, what did you genuinely believe would be different by now that still hasn't changed? And why do you feel like now is the time for people to start with affiliate marketing? Bum, bum, bum.
So we're starting with me. um, yeah, I feel like there would be more momentum, and thankfully, like this month is allowing us to actually like pick up on that momentum and really work with this fire horse energy. I really thought, yeah, like I didn't actually think that I would be here in this business at this time, and so it's like very different than what I had originally thought, you know. But it's like when you ask for things like on your vision board, that it's like you want more money, you want more freedom, you want more this, that, and the other. You have to be open to those possibilities and opportunities of what the universe is trying to deliver that to you and what that's going to look like, right? And so, I took the leap into this business, and I didn't think I would be here, but I'm super grateful for it because of like the community and the possibilities and the opportunities to really build something stable for my future, for my family. So,
Yeah, that's so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Shalon and I actually connected just before it turned January. So as we were entering into the year of the fire horse, so she had a whole different trajectory of how she was envisioning her year to
my
go.
life in general.
Yeah, yeah, that's so beautiful. And now you're here. Now, even for people who are already in this space, like I'm just so excited for you ladies to really crack open and support other women who are in that space too, who are mamas, who are spiritual entrepreneurs, because a lot of them are feeling like they're still in the similar place because they have that model that feels capped. So I love watching your journey that's just unfolding and starting to recognize more of your worthiness, more of the capacity that you can hold in a way where you're not doing
Mhm.
this all alone. It's very beautiful to watch. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, Shauna, my dear, for you, so we're halfway through the year, back in January. What did you genuinely believe would be different now that has still not changed? And why do you feel that now is the time for people to start affiliate marketing?
Yeah, so personally for me, what I thought would be different by now is I've had a plan to quit my part-time job for like a long time. And I thought that I would be ready to do that by now. And actually, because of January and this promotion we're going to discuss eventually, I actually made that choice yesterday. I gave my notice and it's happening. And I know that right now I'm fully supported by the opportunities that are in this company, fully supported by these amazing women that are also on this live with me. And really, like, the time to really choose what you want for your future and choose where you want your energy and your time and your magic to be going is now, not yesterday, now, because really you can't afford, I can't afford to be putting any time or energy into things that aren't directly going to bring me to the life that I want. And while things like part-time jobs and quote unquote stable paycheck sound nice, really they're not. They're costing you. They're costing you what you really could be creating. And it's taken me. I've been in this business for a year and a half, and it's really taken me that long to really understand that. I mean, I understand it. I understood it, but like to really feel it and be able to make that decision. So yeah, January, time is passing, or not January, June, halfway through the year is just a really great reminder that time is passing anyway. And we're all already like, holy shit, the year's half done. What have I got done? Just a good reminder, a good wake up call that time is passing and what you do every day with your time and energy matters.
Mm, that's so powerful. It's beautiful watching you too having this realization because I was telling you like a month ago, last year when you were doing festivals, you were kind of in this space of like, I still want to vend at festivals. I will always be happy to vend at festivals. And I was like, Shauna, when you're making $10,000 a month from your affiliate marketing business, will you really be doing that? And she was kind of in this space of her affiliate marketing would be nice to pop off, right? Because there was this internal decision for her of like, well, I love what I do, but this is kind of what I've been happy with up until now. But this year, Shauna is really recognizing with how much growth she's had over the past year, how much she's seeing the opportunity really unfold in front of her. She's like, what? I need to get clearer with my time, with my priorities, how I'm earning. And now she's going to festivals being like, I just want to work on my online business. Like,
Yeah,
it's really awesome to watch. I love that. So cheers to that. Cheers to you being off of your job and also for this being like the actual last year that you're hustling at festivals and you get to actually go next year feeling free, sharing your art
yeah,
from an overflow place. That's going to be really beautiful.
absolutely.
Amazing. All right, my dear Kelsey. So Kelsey and I, we connected back on Halloween on Samhain, and she had all kinds of things coming up for her around starting this business. But what she did was she finally jumped in, and now she's just like fully all in. We're doing actually a masterclass on Monday. So you could drop transit in the comments if you're like, I need to like watch this webinar to see how this works. That's what we're doing on Monday. But Kelsey, my dear, for you, we're halfway through the year. Back in January, what did you genuinely believe would be different by now that still has not changed? And why is now the time more than ever for people to start affiliate marketing?
Thank you. I absolutely love this question. And January is my birthday month. So it's a big time of the year where I already reflect on like where I've been, where I'm going, what are my dreams. And so January for me was a big moment where I'm like, okay, I am setting myself up for what I'm calling financial freedom, right? And we all have our own explanations and like descriptions of that. But I also come from a artistic background and traveling nomad into coach and priestess, and I'm still over the hustle. And that was me turning like a year into this life cycle where I'm like, I'm done hustling for this. And I had explored the business and affiliate marketing but hadn't said yes yet. And that was really where it was becoming more and more obvious that like what I was doing was still not scalable. And the year of the fire horse actually started at the end of February. And I was like, okay, this is the last turning of the snake. Like, what do we have to shed? What's in my way of really believing that something more than what I'm doing or that it gets to be easier and I get to be supported is actually real? And we're at this point where like one perspective is the year's half over. And I keep reminding myself, I'm like, okay, I'm actually 6 months more ready. Like I'm more ready. So like, let's lead. And here we are with this beautiful promotion. And it's like, okay, this is go time. This can be the turning point right here, right now. June, we're in it. So it's not that like I've wasted 6 months getting here and I haven't seen the difference happening. It's like, okay, well, now I'm fully ready to hit the ground running and there's no time like the present. So let's do it right now because we're completely rewarded times a lot more for being ready right now. And that feels really good to me, right? Like, I'm like, okay, well, I know sitting there on January on my next birthday, I'm gonna be like, wow, okay, the last 6 months absolutely changed my life because I said yes to this. I said yes to this marketing. I said yes to the community. I said yes to the opportunity and stop just sitting around because I am not willing to sit on another birthday and be like, well, nothing really changed. We're not doing this.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm so happy that you're here. And it's really beautiful to just see your space too, where it took you a little bit to actually make the leap, but you stayed close to the fire. Like you stayed close to that vision. You're like, I'm going to figure it out. I'm coming in. And that relentlessness is so beautiful to watch. And that's why I know that you're going to be in a very different place, especially even in Samhain. I feel like we have to have like a reunion celebration around.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would love that.
Beautiful. Okay, so my next question for Shalon. So, how many opportunities have you talked yourself out of because you didn't feel ready, qualified, confident, or good enough yet?
All of them. I was literally I was literally on this, like, I would just watch like every masterclass and every like webinar to find something that resonated with me. And yeah, and until I actually, found this company and this business, and like I was still even a little bit resistant at first, but it was like that whole like, choosing yourself, and it's like that it's different and that it's it's going to require you to step up into something bigger than what you've been doing and what you've been playing this whole time, right? It's that really big identity shift as it from like, having to trade time for money and having to hustle and having to do all the things to actually like stepping up and embodying what it is that you have been like talking to people about and promoting and all of those kind of things, right? And so and helping other people work through, right? Like it's a really big identity shift and everything. And so, yeah, like I feel like I was just jumping from one thing to another, as opposed to actually, until I found something that resonated with me and decided that this is where I kind of wanted to land and find this community and all of these other beautiful things for this expansion that I'm calling in. So, yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. I love how you felt like you really found a home in this space too, because that's sort of
Mhm.
how I felt as well. Whereas, like, I saw a lot of different webinars as well and like different ways to make money, but it was like I had to do something that really felt like me. And we were talking about this of like, you were like, I don't really want to be with like a beige community. I don't know if you use that word, but I like to use that word a lot because I was like, I don't know, I'm very alternative and like, I'm not like I guess I'm spiritual, but I'm also grounded with a lot of fire. And I also like to like I hear a train in the background. Anyway.
Me, sorry.
I like to like really have that like real, honest, transparent conversation with other people and myself about what's really possible. And I felt like there was a lot of like I want to say the word bypassing or kind of like smoke and mirrors when I would see other opportunities, but they didn't feel like they were really carrying the depth that I really wanted to have in the kind of business model and the kind of community that I was really leading with. So, yeah, I love that you're here and I love that you felt safe to really lean into those resistances and have those vulnerable conversations and start to shed that shit. Like, I'm seeing this a lot of action with you, and it's so
Mhm. It's a
powerful.
lot of shedding for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, Shauna, my dear, how many opportunities have you talked yourself out of because you didn't feel ready, qualified, confident, or good enough? And maybe this is something you can actually speak to because I know a lot of people, like you were talking about, people feel that around social media or how much money they're earning, these kinds of things. And that's a big thing that I know comes up for you and your audience as well, because you got a lot of those barefoot fairy hippies, right? That are like in that space of, okay, we loved the barter and trade system back in the day, but that's just not where we're at now. But there's a lot of ways that people can talk themselves out of where it's very much like it really does come down to their worthiness aspect. So I'm curious to hear from you on that.
Yeah, so personally, I have talked myself out of so many things every day. I will talk myself out of something, even though it's like, if it's as simple as like making a post, because I'm like, oh, I'm not as qualified to talk about that, or I'm not feeling great today, or I, whatever, don't look good today, my house isn't clean today, whatever. Like, because a lot of us struggle so much with perfectionism and we want to wait until everything feels perfect to do it, like we don't want to, and the reality is like nobody is like ready, nobody is on all the time perfect, and like we look at other people videos and we don't know what's going on behind for them, but they're just showing up and you can't even tell. So personally, I will talk myself out of things that doesn't even matter, and let's see, if we're talking about, yeah, talking yourself out of opportunities because you don't think you deserve them or you don't think that they're part of your morals or values, specifically we're talking about if you are just a really earthy, sustainable type person that is wanting to create community and really escape the 3D system that we're in. You might feel like doing something like creating a lot of money or abundance for yourself, it makes you wrong or bad, but really people that want to do good in the world need resources. So you don't want to be talking yourself out of making money or creating something amazing for yourself, because that's what you need to create the good that you want to do. So many people talk themselves out. So many people with good ideas just don't have the resources to pursue them. And a lot of those people that are in my community specifically are wary of creating those resources because, I won't, I can't lie. There are bad people that have money and, get away with things. So that's why a lot of people have that mindset. But that doesn't have to be you. Just because you have money, you can do good with it. So don't be talking yourself out of opportunities to create abundance for yourself, because when you create abundance for yourself, you can pour that into your family, your ancestral line, your community, so many good things. And you're never going to feel ready to really do it. You just got to do it. And then you start to feel aligned and good about what you're doing as you do it more.
That's true sustainability and true service and true
Mhm.
impact, right? I think that's the ironic thing was when I was in the conscious community, going to festivals, vending and teaching, performing. It was like, I was like, but the fundamental principle of y'all feeling like money is the root of all evil, that would actually solve a lot of problems in this community. I was like, I don't know, this feels a little bit backwards. I think there's something we need to talk about here. That's huge. So, Kelsey, for you, my dear, how many opportunities have you talked yourself out of because you didn't feel ready, qualified, confident, or good enough yet?
Mm, goodness, I love this one. I'm a pretty 50-50 split. There are things that I'm willing to just run into when I have no idea what I'm doing and I'll figure it out while I go. As long as the excitement's there, right? I'm a generator, so like, does it give me life? Because like I'm excited about that. And then there's the nuance, and then there's the perfection, and then there is all those fine details of like, wait, I started this thing, and like I'll back myself out of it almost right after I started it. Like, who do I think I am, right? To do that. And I think there's a really beautiful thing that Shauna even touched on around, because my community is similar in like spiritual evolution and this ascension path and things of that nature. And I also think there's a huge piece that a lot is missing around the descension path, right? Like we are divine creatures, but we're also human beings. And like being in the body is really important. And that's a big part of me. And so there's this both and that I feel like happens of like this excitement of wanting to create something bigger, especially when it comes to money. And then they're like, oh, well, but I'm on the spiritual path, so I can't prioritize money. And then there's a fissure. And I've definitely been there in the past where I have this story and I talk myself out of certain opportunities because is that going to compromise my morals, which she kind of touched on? Or like, is that going to make, money more important than my spiritual evolution or God or spirit or whatever we're calling that, right? And where do they actually cross over and are the same thing? Where is that actually the perspective of, how we've been taught, programmed, learned, received, whatever, that has created a story that separate, and then we just create the stories to talk ourselves out of the thing that actually is the edgy expansion of what we want, because the unknown is way more unfamiliar and often more scary than just staying comfortable in the like, oh, well, I know I can handle this amount of expansion, even if it's got a little wiggle room, right? But like going over there is a whole nother level. And that's where like the story comes out of. And I don't know if I can do that. And what if I fail, right? Like all of those pieces that we do work around, and I personally do work around to not let them control me, but yet they're still very integrated in the system, and doing something outside of that and creating my standards and my morals in that so that it forms to who I am is actually where the magic is. And also why I'm in this platform, right? Because like this system can work towards how I wish to just interact with my entire life, with who I am, with my community, but amplify that by doing something so I don't have to talk myself out of like, oh, well, that's just not who I am. Because do I get to create who I am in this container and all the containers going forward, right? So that the people in the impact actually feel that and receive more of me, not less of me because I'm playing small.
I love that. I always love to say if we're not growing, we're dying, right? It's like when you have those fears or you have those resistances, you have that unknown, that growth edge. You literally just have, if you literally are committed to growth and ascension and your spiritual path, that is where the magic is. You have to actually learn to live in that space. And once you do, your identity of who you actually get to become, it flourishes from that space. So that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, we got our last question. Shalon, my dear, if learning social media could create more freedom, income, travel, and time with your family, at what point does staying uncomfortable become more expensive than learning a new skill? Kind of flowing with what we were just talking about.
Um, Well, it is in general. Like not keeping yourself in the same place isn't helping you grow and evolve to anything. It's not helping your income. It's not helping you get to where it is that you want to be. And in today's day and age, if you don't know how to make money online or you are not trying to make money online, then like there's very few ways that you can get ahead without it. And that's just the reality of what we live in right now, right? And so, if you're not actually taking the action to learn these new skills and to learn how to like leverage income and actually like build an online presence for yourself, then you're sacrificing all the things that you want for yourself and your family in general. And there's like lots of times where I'm like, I wish I would have started sooner because, you know, I feel like not just myself, but like my kids had to make a lot of sacrifices because I didn't have the money for the things that they needed, or I didn't, and or I just have the debt now to pay it off, that I have to pay off, right? And so it's like you are either sacrificing the things that you need, or you're like sacrificing time down the road where you're just going to have to work longer into your retirement or not even be able to retire. And that's, you know, that's why waiting is just like just costing you more time and money basically. So
Yeah. I think that's
yeah.
a question a lot of people don't really ask themselves, because in our discovery process, it actually asks, what is it costing you to stay where you're at? And some people literally just think, my bills, my debt. I'm like, that's not what we mean. It's like literally like, what is it actually costing you for the rest of your life of staying in that pattern of resistance? It's so huge. So thank you for sharing that, love. All right, my dear Shauna, if learning social media could create more freedom, income, travel, and time with your loved ones, family, I know you're not a mama yet, who knows? At what point does staying uncomfortable become more expensive than learning a new skill?
Um, let's see. At what point does it become more expensive? I mean, right away, right now, right when you realize like that you're not utilizing. And I think social media is a lot like money, where a lot of us conscious people that are wanting to, live off grid and embrace our spirituality and nature, a lot of people can view social media or the internet as something that's bad. And that's another thing that it can be, but it doesn't have to be. And that's what I love so much about this community and the way that we do things in a real, authentic way of service. And I mean, I personally, I have a following. I've grown a following, and I kind of did that a couple years ago when you could grow a following just by being hot and funny and taking pretty pictures, And it's just not really like that anymore, because now you want to be authentic and build a community of aligned people. And really, in 2026, if you're not utilizing that, you're doing yourself and the people that you're meant to serve a really big disservice, because we have this whole thing that lets us connect with people all over the world. Like I've connected, all three of you, gotten to connect with you. And it's, you can even just look at this live and you can tell we're all aligned with each other in this badass community of, oddball women. And that's just so special. So really, what is it costing you? It's costing you, amazing opportunities and people that you can connect with. We have the opportunity to reach so many people. It's costing you freedom. It's costing you the life that you want to not be utilizing this tool. And inherently, social media is not bad. It's just how you use it. And the way that we're using it in this community is to create deep connections and to change people's lives. And that's really what I love about what we're doing versus the way that I used to use social media. I'm so stoked and happy to be using my following to be able to be of service now versus just being a pretty thing for people to look at, so yeah.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, this was fascinating too, with like a lot of people don't really realize that there are people that have a million followers that still are in a position where they are working a full-time job and not able to pay their rent. And when Shauna came to me, she had a really large following, but she's like, man, I'm not really actually in the space of finding the true sustainability to actually have it be monetized in a way where I can actually leave my job. So Shauna's been having this huge paradigm shift of going from entertaining on your social media to an actual, like, having a being able to solve people's problems in a world where the biggest problem is Hello. We need to not be living the struggling artist lifestyle, and also just not needing to be somebody that is so out of the box, but still trying to fit in the box because that's what we were told to do. And that's what we think is trying to work right now, but there's just a whole different way. So I love seeing Shauna's paradigm shift happening in that space. Thank you for sharing, love. All right. So, Kelsey, my dear, if learning social media could create more freedom, income, travel, and time with your loved ones and to build your priestess temples, at what point does staying uncomfortable become more expensive than learning a new skill?
Right now. Right now. Because like I can't change what's happened in the past, but I can change who and what I'm doing right now, right? And a quote came into my life. Actually, I literally wrote it down this morning before this live, and it's playing it safe is the riskiest way to live because we end up wasting time in our life and we don't get it back, right? The universe doesn't go backwards. It only moves from this current point of presence. And it's this question specifically is really beautiful because there has been a lot of me that has played it safe on social media. And then there was a moment where I like got big and got loud and got a lot of pushback, got a lot of hate. Like it happens, right? It happens on social media. And if you're not polarizing, you're not standing for anything. And at first, I was really uncomfortable with that. And I kind of backed off. And I've had a really amazing life. And I've served a lot of amazing people and done really amazing things that, like, if all of that was something I was willing to put online, I know I would have a huge impact and a huge following in the way of just how I live. And I don't. And I forgive myself grace that that didn't feel aligned at the time, though there's nothing like the present to start doing it right now. And you're catching me at a moment in my life where the last 6 months to a year, I've really been committed to showing up more, even before that it was about, this affiliate marketing and within this side of wellness and technology and the business that I'm in. And yet showing up more in my performance and in my temples because I knew I wanted to create a global temple space for priestesses and women to be supported and held, and places of worship where we return the feminine face of God is so important to me. And I can't do that if it's not online, if it's not digital and a global reach. I'm not going to do it. And there was a big shift that happened for me is like, okay, well, sure, I haven't done it, but we're going to do it now because why not start now? And so that's my biggest thing with, like, if women have these huge visions, we have this technology, we don't have to demonize it. Like, just use it properly for your authentic expression, and it's going to connect us to people we would never connect to. Hence the 4 of us on this call right now, right? On different walks of life all across the globe. This is something that is such a beautiful gift. We just choose to utilize it for what we desire rather than just feeding the system and consuming rather than creating, right? Like we're all in a moment where we're like, okay, I want to create more than I take in. And I think that's really beautiful.
I love that. Ooh, so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, love. I love how everything that you ladies said was basically just like, it's costing us everything. It's starting to cost us right at the moment now. And for people who are watching, like, I can't even stress enough being in this business for 6.5 years. I just personally have never seen a promotion that is like what we have in June. It's the 52nd? Yes, 52nd anniversary of this company. 5 decades of pouring into health and wealth and freedom into a global community of over 180 people. This business is built literally on a trust fund that started 52 years ago. And that's why they're able to just like pour this money into people. So if you already are like, man, the best time to start was yesterday. It's costing me all these things that we talked about. Just so you know, if you wait until July, it's also costing you an extra like 10 to 20 grand. Literally on like the financial payment structure of how much you're able to earn from your first sale all the way up to your first 5 sales plus. And Kelsey and I are doing a webinar on Monday. So reach out to whoever's page you're watching this on. Drop in transit in the comments. If you're watching this on a podcast, or maybe you're seeing this dropped in your email or on our Facebook group, whatever, what have you, make sure you reach out to the person who you are finding this video from and come and watch that masterclass. It is also going to be available on replay for a limited time. The reason why we have them available for pockets of time is because honestly, everybody wants to make money online, but this is really for the kind of people that are really ready to show up and blow up. They're really ready to do the follow through. They're really ready to see the fire of fear and run through it anyway. We're not here for the like half in, half out kind of energy. So if you know you're at this point in the year of the fire horse and you're like, you're done having one foot in, one foot out, if you are in that space of really truly being ready to step into that next chapter, that's who this is for. So we're excited to connect with you. And thank you, ladies, so much for being a part of this. This has been a powerful conversation. And I shall see you later. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.